With thousands of stocks to choose from, how do you decide on which ones you want to add to your watch list? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you the 4 strategies I use for screening for winning stocks. Let's get straight into it. Hi guys, Any aka the Not Trader, your friendly neighborhood swing trader, back again with another video. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that alert button to get alerts on all my latest videos. I've got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the Not Trader on all social media platforms. And if you check the description section below, you'll see a link to my mailing list and my Discord group. Join the Discord group to join a community of like-minded investors and traders for free in the description section below once again. Now let's get straight into it. There's tens of thousands, if not more, stocks that you can choose from at any time to trade. So there needs to be a process of elimination, so you have the right ones that fit your strategy in your watch list. Now your watch list is a dynamic list that's ever evolving. You add some stocks to it and then you can take some stocks out depending on what strategy you use, but you should always update it and always be looking for the best stocks that fit your strategy. But to really decide which stocks you want out of the tens of thousands in the market out there, you need to make sure that you're dwindling them down to the few that give you the best opportunity to make winnings. So I've decided to give you the 4 strategies that I use to pick to screen for stocks. So the first one is manual search. Now here's what it says on the tin. Manual search is just going through the stocks manually and then looking at the charts. Especially as a technical analyst, you can do this just by going through each chart and just looking for them. Now for the US traders out there, this might be a daunting process because stock exchange like the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones, well, the Nasdaq, New York Stock Exchange, and the Nasdaq have lots of stocks, and this may not be feasible because by the time you get through letter A, you may have gone through hundreds of stocks. But for people in Europe, which we have small exchanges, that the FTSE 100, for example, it's 100 stocks, so you can get through them really quickly. So maybe a manual search might be quite daunting at the beginning, but if you break it down and maybe you're going to search certain sectors or even certain letters, maybe you're only going to search stocks that are in the B or C, but you can get through quite a couple of hundred pretty quickly. Let me just show you how I go through the FTSE 100 manually. So here on the left hand side is my watch list. As you can see, I color code some of these stocks based on my interest level. So the yellow ones are the ones that I'm kind of actively looking at, the purple ones are the ones that I might want to trade soon, and the turquoise ones are just the indices that I like to trade sometimes. Now if I go into FTSE, in here the FTSE 100 is called the UK Top 100 and it's split into 2 categories, A to I, so all the ones starting with A to I, and then J to Z. So if I go to A to I, it'll give me, I think, 50, and then the other 50 will be in the J to Z. So all I do normally is go to the daily chart and just scroll down, keep scrolling down and just looking at the different stocks and seeing if there's anything that tickles my fancy. As you can see, some of these have lines plotted on them because I'm actively plotting lines on all the charts that I see any sort of patterns in, even if I don't trade them, because they might be of interest to me at a later date. So it's just a matter of going through all the charts. Even if I don't want to trade some of these charts, I will plot lines on them if I see interesting lines, and then I might revisit it at a later date. And it's just a process of elimination. Just keep plotting lines and going down until you see something that you're interested in or something that could be worth your while to trade, and just just scroll through all the charts and look for something that you like. So the second way to screen for stocks that I think is really useful is social media. Now, I actually mentioned this in another video that I made on how to get started trading, that social media, especially Twitter, is a really useful tool for traders and investors, because while I think most of the best, especially technical analysis traders and some of the best investment minds, but primarily investors, primarily traders, reside on Twitter. I've learned way more from some of the people that I follow on Twitter than any CNBC or Bloomberg pundit or guru. And some of the best traders are on there, and not just Twitter. You can find them in chat rooms. Let me plug my chat room actually quickly. So this is my chat room that I've got with Infinite Investor. Both of us are here, and this is called Pip Talk. We've got an investors channel and a trading channel where you discuss everything and anything to do with investing and trading. I got a watch list page where you discuss watch lists. I post some of my videos here, and we also just have a discussion board for main floor for investments, where we just discuss investments as well. So there's a lot of great chat rooms out there, and you can I'd suggest joining some and then just discussing with other people within the chat rooms about stocks or that you think are worth trading, and you can add some of them to your watch list just based off of some other people's opinions. Obviously you don't want to just trade based on other people's opinions, but sometimes being part of like a chat room or a Facebook group, or even creating a list on Twitter of people that you respect, you can start seeing what stocks that they're talking about, and you can add them to your list, and then you can further analyze them after adding some of them to your list. But this list is all about just creating a list of stocks that might be of interest to you. You're going to do a deeper dive later on to see which ones you actually want to trade, but if there's people that you respect on different social media platforms and in different community forums, then they can steer you in the right direction as to some of the stocks that they think are worth giving a second look at and adding to your watch list. So the third way I'd say to screen for stocks would be criteria screening. So what I mean by that is you can either use a website that has a criteria screening tool such as FinViz, which allows you to select criteria to filter out stocks until you get all the stocks that fit the specific criteria. Or you can do screening in the same way through criteria screening, but within the trading platform that you're using. So for me, this is Pro Real Time. I could screen for tools using the inbuilt tool screener for the criteria within Pro Real Time. Rather than me just talking about it, I'll show you. So if you go to the FinViz website, you can see at the top left hand in the ribbon, you see a screener here. You just click on that, and then it'll take you to their screening tool. Now the great thing about this is that you can screen based on fundamentals. So if you're an investor and you want to look at stuff that pertains to like the balance sheet or PE ratio, price to cash, EPS, things like that, then you can screen for those things. And if you're technical analysis, then you can screen for more technical related criteria such as RSI, moving averages, beta, etc. Or you can just put both together and screen for all, which is what I do. And you can pick your criteria. So if I wanted to pick a stock that had a specific RSI, so if anything that's overbought, over 90, then it'll see, and then there's only one stock that's over 90 right now. So let's say there's oversold. Right now you got 23, and then you can pick another criteria, float, for example. These are not the criteria I use. I'm just using it for the purpose of showing you how to use this tool. But yeah, so let's say it's under 25%. Now there's 10. So you can keep picking different criteria until it gives you a short list of stocks that fit that criteria, and then you can just look at the chart. For example, sometimes I just look at the chart to see how it is, but if not, I can I'll normally just pick my criteria, look at all the stocks, and then probably add them to my watch list just based off of the criterias. And then you can also use the Pro screener on Pro Real Time, or whatever screener that your brokerage platform provides. Most good brokerage platforms would provide a screener. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really use this too much. I've had this in the bottom right hand corner for God knows how long. You've never seen me really address it because I haven't really utilized it much. I'll probably eventually one day actually build a good screener, but right now I haven't really built anything that's worthwhile using here. So some of these stocks is just basically based on RSI oversold. The good thing about this Pro Real Time screener is that you can actually build your own screener based on your own criteria. It requires a little bit of coding. I think you can code your own one, or you can just use your own criteria and modify. So you can modify your screener to use the criteria of your own choosing and save that so that it'll auto populate every time a stock falls within the criteria that you set. But I haven't utilized this much, so I'm not really going to go into too much depth. But if you guys use it and you find a good criteria to set, then let me know, and then maybe I'll copy some of them and add them to my list. And then you can also do stuff like top movers, for example. This is another way. So you can find the stocks that are moving, that have the top movers, highest movers within that day, year, month, hour. You can change the time period. That's one way to do it. This is probably more useful for maybe day traders or people that are trying to or growth investors, people that are trying to make money off of quick moves. Once again, I haven't really utilized this much. You open gap ups, gaps downs. These are really good for day traders as well. I haven't utilized this much, so but it's a useful one for depending on your trading strategy. You could probably be able to utilize this. And last but not least, drum roll please. Okay, is the hybrid approach. No points for assuming what that means. The best strategy, in my opinion, is a hybrid of all of these strategies, which is what I use. I don't really use one particular strategy when I'm screening for stocks, as I believe an amalgamation of all of 1, 2, and 3 is really the best way to find the best stocks. Do some manual searches, just go through the stocks. Normally I'll do this on a Sunday, just go through as many stocks as I can manually and look for good patterns. Go on social media or my chat room and see what stocks people are talking about, add them to my list. Do a bit of screening on FinViz predominantly, which is what I use. Screen for some stocks and add some of those to my list, and then I have a really long list. And then out of that list, I start looking through all the stocks, and then I'll manually look at all of them and filter them out just based on what I see are the best ones. And I think that's the best way to do it. It's a more labor-intensive way of doing things, but I believe that the final approach should always just be the eye test, because as much as these filters are good, my personal opinion is, as from a technical analyst point, it's best to look at these stocks after using a tool to sieve out the crap, and then go through them manually and see which ones are the best ones. So anyway, I'm Enny, aka the Not Trader. I hope you found this video useful. Remember to like and subscribe. Not Trader signing out.